Hey guys, Warsaw here, and today, this video, I really wanted to name it the philosophy of tanking, but I don't think there's much philosophy to it. A lot of it is just shit that I already know that to me is obvious, but it's not maybe obvious to new people who want to come and tank. So this video is more about getting rid of anxiety and how to deal with it as a tank and other things that you should be doing as a tank, pretty much, right? That's pretty much it. I've said this a lot in my live stream, so I'm kind of tired of repeating myself, even though I repeat myself anyways, but let's get to it. So what kind of tank should you be playing in Midnight or just in general? Look, whatever tank you have the most fun with. It does not matter where it is on the tier list. The only thing that matters is that you're having fun in the goddamn video game. You're supposed to have fun. Now, of course, you need to ask yourself, what kind of goals do you want? It could affect the tank that you choose, but that is only the case for if you're going for title. If you want to go for title, which is 4K, then you're going to pick a meta pick, right? Or you're already going to have a group and you're all going to decide on a comp that works well together, and then that's where you're going to make it. That's a whole totally different thing. If you're like me, who is unemployed, you're just pugging and just playing the tank that you like. Just fucking go with whatever you have fun with. There's nothing wrong with it and all that. Now, this doesn't deal with anxiety per se, but I've had this question so many times on my stream that I was kind of tired of repeating myself. It should be said here, right? Now, how are we going to get rid of this anxiety? Well, there's two really anxieties about tanking. There's the route, and then there's the peer pressure part. We'll get to the peer pressure a little bit later still. First things first, as a tank, you will always have to do homework. Now, you can get away with not doing homework if you have a group and you just want to do it on the fly, right? That's totally fine. But when you're in a pug, things are going to go bad. You're going to get flamed if you're just kind of rolling or whatever, right? You can do that. It's a free world, right? We all have free will. But let's get rid of some of that anxiety, right? So first things first, you're going to need Mythic Dungeon Tool. It's an add-on, Curse Forge. It's going to help you create a route, but it's also going to help you. Let's say I want to know what, this pack hurts. Right click on this mob. What does it do? Wow, it does this and this. Okay, maybe I should only pull one. It helps you find out what's wrong with certain mobs or packs that you're having, and just knowing what mobs do instead of running the dungeon over and over to quickly catch a glimpse of it, right? And also to know if you're going to get 100% or not, because that's the goal, is the route has to be 100%, 101. Sometimes some dungeons, I think like Skyreach, you get like 102. You can't really get around it, or maybe with a different route, I don't know. But overall, want 100%, and you could, again, make your own route. Or there is we have 3 chests here. So let's say if you didn't want to download it, you could actually use 3 chests. It's a web browser, whatever thing. And then you could do it here, have it on your second screen if you got one, and you could look at it there, and it's pretty nice. It's a nice alternative. Currently, right now, since this is pre-patch, I have to use this if I wanted to see a route for Season 3 still, because the MDI switched over to Season 1, as you can see. Now, let's say you don't want to create a route. You're brand new. You don't know what to do. You can go to Keystone Guru, click on Discover Routes, and here you're going to have a whole bunch of routes. Let's say we want to do Halls of Atonement, right? Now you could pick which one you want, or which one looks, usually it's the first 3 or something of that nature, or one that's the most updated. Some of them are like updated, just a month ago. You'll see Yoda's up in here, whatever the case, right? But you can just, click on this one, choose it. I don't recommend the right side, but that's besides the point. You go to share, click MDI string, right? MDT string, you copy it. You go to Mythic Dungeon Tool, import, you go to the dungeon for the correct, and then import, paste it, and then there you go. And so now you got a route, right? Now my recommendation is this. This is what I do. It's not the best or the time-saving one, but usually if I want to do a new route, I do a very low Mythic Plus. So let's say you want to do, well, at the beginning of the season, let's say everyone's doing 12s or whatever, you're going to do a 5. Right? Let's say you've never done a Halls of Atonement or something like that. You're going to pick a route. You got your take, you know how to play it. You're going to pick the route and then just go and see on a low level. Some things may die fast, but just so you visually see where you're going from point A to point B. You're pulling this pack, you're pulling this pack, you're going here. This pack kind of does this does that, or whatever the case, right? Do that twice and then go do it on a higher level, and then a higher level. You get the gist, right? That's why you see some people like me. I'm an unemployed motherfucker, right? I have plenty of time to sit here and just run the dungeons over and over and over again. And even then, I don't know half the shit sometimes, right? It's just being repetitive. WoW is a game, is a time sink. It's an MMO. And also they designed it to be a huge time sink on top of that. It's, you just gain skill and knowledge by just doing shit. Just like, for instance, when I'm running Eco Dome, I'm interrupting Zap, Arcane Zap, whatever the fuck it's called, right? In Halls of Atonement, I'm doing the Loyal Beast cast, or I'm trying to do or interrupt bolts if there's just bolts so no one's getting double bolted and then they die. Shit like this, right? That you just kind of get into your mind, you just auto know after a certain point, I'm just because you ran it so many goddamn times. That's just how you're going to accumulate confidence in knowing what you're doing. Now, I did forget about the bosses. I did forget about this. What I would recommend before you even do your route is that you should go and watch a guide, like a video of, like, let's again, Halls of Atonement. Go watch the boss guides. Usually they're like 3 minutes. It's not that bad. So at least you get what to do and you could watch what the tank is doing, something. So you just get the gist. You're familiar. That's the whole point, because when you're in a lower key, no one's going to know anything. And usually the person that doesn't know anything is usually speaking the loudest sometimes. Like they're trying to tell you something. I'm so confident it's this and it's completely wrong. We've seen it in other reviews, such as, you know, one Azeroth with his multiple reviews of fucking low keys and he still expects something different. So you might as well be the one with the knowledge, right? You got to know. You just gotta know. So again, please do your homework. It will save you a lot of heartache and time and rage and embarrassment, all that stuff. So now we're gonna give a little bit of a talk. Now we're gonna have my big forehead covering my other past big forehead. We're gonna talk about social pressure, right? Here's the general gist. They're fucking retards on the internet who don't know anything. Why do you care? You could literally leave the dungeon and ignore them and never see them ever again. Who the fuck cares? Fuck these people, right? Fuck the WoW community. Fuck all these people. Just literally play the game and have fun and learn. That's it. That's literally it. And I'm going to show you an example. Here right now in a 22. Now we could say it's currently pre-patch when I'm recording this for midnight. The IO is inflated. People can buy boosts, whatever, right? Did this on a live stream. This Demon Hunter here, never Demon Hunters ever again, by the way, is a 4.1. Now, again, on stream I show this. You can go to this one. 4.1 IO, K score. 8 out of 8 Mana Forge Mythic. I expect this motherfucker to know something. And as we're going to see here, he's going to go splat, right? What happened? We saw it really fast. What happened? But look at the comment, though, that is about to appear. Threat, man. Threat. Now, of course, my initial response is, you get what you deserve, right? Because DPS be pulling off me. What do you think? You're not targeting the same target I am, whatever the case, right? I knew I was going to look at it before. I knew I was going to look back at my stream and see if I really, because at the time, and this is going to happen to you while you're tanking, you can pay attention to everything. You can pay attention to a lot of things. I was pretty sure I had all aggro, but I wasn't sure. Right? But I still said verbally, you get what you deserve. So we were going to look. So this is exactly what happened. And I'm going to tell you what exactly happened. We got quite a bit of blood workers in here. We pulled this pack over here. Blood workers, even if you aggro them, they do a melee. They charge you and do a melee, even if you don't have aggro. So that's why you don't want to pull too many of them, because it's just random damage. And what happened to this motherfucker is that I'm guessing is that maybe there was too many. Again, we can take responsibility as the tank, like, oh man, I pulled too many. I could accept that. But don't tell me I got threat because you don't know what the fuck's going on. So we could say here that there was too many blood workers. Maybe I should have waited for some to die. Who knows, right? But I think he got unlucky and they charged him multiple times. And I think before he did use blur, I'm not entirely sure. I swear I saw it a little bit earlier and they just charged him and he died. Maybe he got hit by a web bolt too. Who knows? Okay, that's how he died. Not because of aggro, but because the mobs do that, and that's exactly what happened, right? Again, we could take responsibility for maybe there's too many blood workers. Maybe wait a little bit before they're dead. I could accept that. It's not threat. Shut the fuck up. So now we're going to do the Metro thing, and of course, after discovering this is where I'm discovering it. So now I have to whisper him, right? We got to whisper him. He's fucking retarded. So this is where I said, also, I had aggro. Watch the video. You died to the blood workers charging whispered. I died to 3 melee. He said, no, you're shit. Literally live streaming right now and watched it. And this motherfucker looking at logs. Now logs are good because they could tell you some things that you just don't understand that are happening. But guess what? That mob does 3 melee. They charge you and do melee damage. It does not mean that you had aggro. Literally, if you just looked at the screen, right? Literally looking at the screen, not a log, We're not fucking doing Linux here. You're not looking at a log. Look at the goddamn screen or learn what the mob does. Or, this person could open up a Mythic Dungeon tool, right click on the mob, and then be like, wow, he charges a random party member. Even if you don't have aggro, who would have thought, right? So then he says this, and then he says, which I know he's not looking at logs, you need to relax, little man. Again, now this is very minor, right? It's not like he called me the N-word. It's not like he complimented how nice my hairline is or something like that, right? It's a very minute thing, but usually with like in lower keys, it can just get out of control, right? This is the whole text, the whole point. It gets out of control. People don't know what they're talking about. Why are you worried about all these motherfuckers talking shit when they don't even know how the game works on a higher level? So another example of dealing with the pressure, right? I cut this, I'm adding this in. This happened on my live stream a day ago, whenever I decided to post this video. This druid here, this is the first key of the day, and he thinks I'm going right in Priory. And this is all about communication. We did not communicate at all. He just assumed, which of course you shouldn't assume, but we all do kind of. Basically, I didn't even see him run, but I knew that since he was standing there, he was going to then grab the footmen and bring them down, which I wasn't going to bother to do. As you can see here, the footmen are here. I'm like, I'm going left. Now I say it, and it's just cringe, right? So it's not that bad. It kind of fucks up some enemy forces count, right? But overall, still okay. We go through all this shit. I'm going left. I mean, here's the thing, right? You shouldn't feel pressured into that he expects you to go right. Now you have to go right. Nah, man. I'm the tank of the dungeon, right? This is how I do it. Now, here's the thing. I've timed to 20 prior with this route. With this route, I've timed. He hasn't. He was in here. He was 3.994 or something. He needed this. I can do my route, right? You need to be confident that like I'm going to do it my way because that's where I feel comfortable with. You can't succumb to social pressure to change the route on the fly and then fuck everything up. You got to go where you got to go, right? So I'm going left, and of course the main problem here is that people still can't deal with this path. Outrageous, but he's pretty far up there, pretty clean. The druid looks like to be, I mean, he could stealth. See these guys get a grab in the corner. And everything seems fine until I'm pretty sure it's the warlock or someone who aggroes these guys. I mean, at this point in the video game, you shouldn't even like, I think I got hella annoyed. Someone may have died here, possibly, I don't know. I don't think anyone dies here, but he does make this comment. You see why I transferred from Stormrage. Literally no one is his friend. No one's in the same guild. Maybe a friend that I don't see on his BNet. But in reality, like, this is literally being from Stormrage or anything has nothing. With this kind of comment, I mean, like, to be on the internet, right? You have to have thick skin. This comment is like probably the most low end comment ever. Like it doesn't even wouldn't affect most people, but new people trying to tank or whatever the case, I feel like it would affect them. And honestly, shit like this, like again, right? I've done this on a 20 Priory. I've timed it with this exact route. This guy hasn't timed it. So what is he trying to tell me? Again, the same thing. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to a retard? Then disregard exactly what they say. So I was already really pissed about this comment, and basically, we had all this extra pulling, and I just voted to disband because I wasn't going to waste more of my time and give this guy the benefit of the doubt to continue on. He can go fuck himself. I was pretty annoyed as like bros got odd energy, LOL, GG, and then left. What the fuck is this guy on? So here is another one, the same stream. Right? I'm like an hour into my stream. We have this lovely paladin who does ass damage, right? But here's the thing. He claims we have time. We're at 14 minutes. We're not going to have time. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now I have time to 21 Ecodome. So I think I have, some things or whatever. We have time. I don't believe it. Everyone kind of votes no. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue, right? So we're going to continue forward into the dungeon here. And I mean, we have 5 minutes. This is like the second to last pull. I think he dies here. I know I make a comment. So this is where I made a comment because obviously the dude didn't know what he was talking about. I type, yeah, man, we get a time. I mean, we literally have 2 minutes. We're in the last pack. Already know from ahead of time, right? And he's like, it's GG. Like it's been GG for a while. The damage wasn't there, and then we all died. So all that time wasted. And what else? I said, GG was so close though. I told him he didn't want to see close. Nah, I don't think it was close at all. Okay, maybe if you got rid of the 7 deaths and you all didn't die, maybe, right? The damage wasn't there, but then you really need to learn a good route. Now, here's the thing. I could accept this criticism because I stole this route from Metro. The route isn't that great, but I still timed a 21 with it. And this guy's trying to time a 20. This is not the route then, is it? See, this is the thing, right? Where people don't, like I said, people at all levels are talking out of their ass and they don't know anything. And that's something that I would like everyone to know. Also, hold on, we'll get to that. So this is like, like he died on the last, like the pack before or whatever. Timed is on the 21. And basically, your route sucks. He's just trolling me at this point. I told him he had African IQ. He had called me a noob tank. And basically he dies here. Typical pre-patch Andy noob. And he literally just stands there and like dies. He doesn't bother. I was debating on just leaving or dying or something like that. But then I was like, oh, okay, I'll just finish the key for the priest. I think it was the holy priest. And yeah, he just remains dead. He doesn't say anything ever. I just said, like, yeah, ignore by. Obviously he doesn't know. Again, this is the best part, is like a Metro thing. I don't know if he knows that he could actually leave when the timer's up. He literally could leave, but I'm guessing he just wanted to remain dead. Again, troll idiot. But these are the kind of people that you shouldn't take advice from. Like all the people I've shown you, from the druid to this guy to the demon hunter, these people don't know what they're talking about. They're literal idiots and they ruin other people's fun. And that's why I'm telling everyone who watches this, do your homework. I'm not saying you got to become an expert at the dungeon, but don't be afraid to Google or ask questions in my Discord or whatever the case, because these people literally don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just trolling you. They have no idea. And guess what? This is the best part. This is the internet. I could ignore this guy and leave and go do another key while he's waiting to get into a key or to start his own key. Fuck these people. I don't understand why people, like, I've seen it on the WoW forums. I've seen it on the fucking WoW Reddit about people literally complaining about, oh my God, Mythic Plus is so toxic. Just ignore them. Continue on to the fucking next key. Like, I don't get it. They're literal idiots. The words don't affect you at all. As a tank, you want to learn the route, what's going on, because so then you know that these people are talking out of their ass. That's what you need to know. This dude was talking out of his ass and he was trolling on purpose and he didn't even know to leave the key. That's all I got to say, man. Now, there's something else on top of tanking or helping with tanking anxiety. You know, we got the route. You know, you're going to know the bosses. You already picked out your tank spec. You already did everything. You're already ignoring all the retards on the internet, right? There's one thing that someone actually said that was interesting that I don't know how it fits in this video, is when to pull the next pack, right? It's the speed in which you pull. Now, of course, you're going to be pretty slow. That's why I suggested running a lower mythic and trying out the route, because seeing is believing, right? Because once you know where to go, you're kind of instantly like, you know, you're just a nice oiled up Swiss watch. You're just going to keep going. You're going to go that route. You're instantly going to go right over there. So what I brought up here, I'm going to show an example, not a good example, not a real example. Let's say we're doing Halls of Atonement, right? You're going to come off here. You're going to do this first pull, right? Now here's the thing. You're going to pull this, right? Now, these guys do wicked bolts, right? You don't want kind of at least 2 wicked bolts with this damage, because not everyone's going to be interrupting. She does a siphon, right? But you're going to pull this. When do you pull this, right? This is the question. How fast do you pull? How do you do that kind of stuff? I would usually, and this goes for most packs. Let's say you're pulling a pack and it has, like, usually you would wait for the casters to die and then pull, right? Unless there's some other weird mechanic, you wait for important things to die. So let's say I usually do this pull. I about wait till one of the obliterators is dead, or maybe the Houndmaster, but since I'm a Death and I can grip, and then I pull this, right? Then I wait for the other obliterator to die and the Houndmaster should be dead or whatever. Then I pull this guy. So now, pull him, he casts. This guy doesn't cast, but he does do a debuff. That's the whole point. Then I pull these guys because they're just not worth it, right? And pull it into the mini boss to funnel. You just don't want to overstack important mobs. So now I'm going to show you another example. So usually I pull these two together. I make sure she's over here. I pull two of these or whatever. So when do I start going over here to do my next pull? I make sure all the important ones are dead. Like anything that casts Wicked Bolt, the Houndmaster. I don't care about the Gargans, the little doggies, and I don't care about the guy who stabs me, right? Who provides the anima tainted armor, whatever, it reduces your armor. I think it makes you take more damage or whatever. So him and the Gargans, you could literally drag all the way over here. It's no problem. They're just melee. There's nothing too important. Usually it's the casters or like a Loyal Beast, a Houndmaster is something like once the important mobs are dead, then more likely than not, you could actually pull into the next pack. Right. Another example is kind of this point at the end of Priory is that when you do a pull like this, right? So this is the light spawn. You have the Templar. Basically, you actually, hold on a second. You would want all of them dead except the Footman. Maybe you could allow one Paladin to live, but usually you would take something that's useless like the Footman, for example. Sometimes when I'm doing all these pulls, I have a whole bunch of Footmen and I could just go into Sir Bukaki, right? That's his name. I don't see it any other way. You can't convince me otherwise. But as long as it's not mob, it's not like a light spawn that's going to heal or, he's already doing an AoE and then he got a light spawn targeting someone. You don't want that. But it's mainly when the important mobs are dead and you're trailing along. Again, the Footmen do absolutely nothing. There's just melee damage. Usually, sometimes I've had like 4 Footmen on me that are like 30% HP, 25%. Just go and fucking attack Sir Bukaki and then grab this stuff. It doesn't matter. The only thing that has to die is the Devout Priest, but I'm just saying, like things of those importance, you just have to pay attention to. Just sort of like when I pull, this actually isn't my route, but let's say this guy's coming out, I think. He comes out over here. Obviously, we would have killed these two. And I pulled this group. Usually I pull the Priest, and then you would be careful, but you would always focus the Priest down and interrupt him and stuff like that. You could funnel stuff like that. That's not too onto bosses or whatever the case. Here's the thing, right? I know this explanation isn't that great. Hopefully I've given some good examples. Me, myself, I kind of have a problem with this as well. I'm an old school tank because I'm a boomer where I want to wait for everything to die to then before I move, right? But sometimes you can't do that and you have to be a little fast. Sometimes you can't. You just have to pay attention to the mobs. You have to pay attention to the mobs and what they're doing. Make sure casters, because you don't want to leave casters behind, especially in a Mythic Plus. Just make sure the important ones are dead. If they're just doing melee, whatever, you could kind of most likely move on and move them. If it's too far, maybe it's not wise, or, if you're doing, like, let's say, for instance, Pit, these guys right here, you may want to be careful with, he does a frost, this strike increases frost damage by 100%. Oh shit, maybe I don't want to combine him maybe into a boss because the boss does a tank frost, things like that you just got to be careful of. As a rule of thumb, make sure the important mobs are dead first, like casters or anything else that's really like not going to move, and mobs that just melee or whatever you could kind of chain on, whatever you feel comfortable with, but just make sure the important mobs are dead, right? You wouldn't be chaining this mob who at 30% starts doing an AoE, right? You wouldn't start chaining him into a huge pack, right? You don't want that, shit like that. So there it is, guys. It is my quick video on how to overcome anxiety for tanking. Just play the fucking game. Who cares what people do? Do you care? Here's the thing. Do you care when you're driving and someone honks at you and they think you're wrong? You don't, because they're retarded. You don't give a fuck. Same thing with WoW. You're literally the tank. You're driving the whole group. Do your thing, learn, have fun, ignore all these bitches. Anyways, if there's anything else that I forgot, I probably forgot something or glossed over anything, comment down below. I'll probably answer, or I'll probably update. I will probably update the pinned comment or anything else like that. Also, you can join my Discord if you need any help or want me to answer something. There's also a whole bunch of people there that are very helpful. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Peace.